Hello, and thank you for clicking on our group project final presentation. My name is Gavin, and I am joined by my fellow group members Abdul, Brianna, and Brooks. Today, we'll be presenting our human computer interaction final project, an academic focused task management system designed to improve collaboration in collegiate group projects. I will be walking you through the first section of our presentation, covering the problem, our motivation, stakeholders, and the early design foundation. Our presentation follows the same progression of work that we completed throughout the semester. I'll start by defining the problem and motivation, followed by our stakeholder analysis and system requirements. After that, some of my fellow group members will go through our research, prototype, evaluation, refinements, and what comes next. Group projects are a major part of any collegiate education, but most students experience the same pain points: unclear task division, miscommunication, uneven workload, and missed deadlines. We actually had a very personal example of this problem. Brooks joined this team due to a group facing these very problems. Existing tools such as Google Docs, Trello, or Slack are widely used but aren't really designed specifically for academic project workflows. They often feel too complicated for seamless coordination or require extra setup that students don't always have time for. So, after identifying this problem, we now come to the question of why does this matter? Well, effective collaboration is essential to student success and creating skills for real life workforces. But current tools actually tend to create a little bit more friction than solving the problems. Students often lack a centralized place to assign tasks, track progress, and stay accountable. Professors and TAs have limited visibility into group dynamics, which makes it hard for them to evaluate individual contributions fairly. A system designed specifically for short term academic projects that is linked with any university's LMS could address these gaps by offering clarity, consistency, and structure. To understand this system's impact, we mapped out all relevant stakeholders in a 2x2 power grid. Students are obviously our primary users, with both high interest and high power, because they rely on the system daily and will be using it the most. Professors create group assignments and care about organization, so they have high power but less day to day involvement. TAs and library staff offer academic support, while campus IT manages authentication and security and integration with the LMS system of the university's choice. Finally, advisors and administrators have low direct power but may benefit from tracking progress patterns and student success. This analysis helped us focus our design decisions on the people most affected. Based on our problem definition and stakeholder needs, we established a clear set of functional requirements. The system must allow students to create boards, add and assign tasks, set deadlines, and collaborate in real time. It also needs communication features such as comments, file attachments, and request for help buttons for TA and library staff help. These were prioritized as essential for supporting academic group workflow. We also defined non functional requirements to ensure the system performs well and meets accessibility standards. This includes WCAG 2.1 compliance, fast loading times, secure login, and a consistent, intuitive interface so students can learn it quickly. We also defined limits such as up to 6 users and 25 tasks per board based on typical group sizes of collegiate projects and project complexity. With our requirements established, our next step was determining what we needed to learn from potential users. Our research objectives included understanding students' challenges with existing tools, testing how intuitive our taskboard interface felt, identifying navigation barriers, measuring overall usability with the SUS framework, and evaluating how quickly first-time users could learn the system. These objectives guided the design of our study and directly informed the next stages of our prototype.
Hi, my name is Abdul Hamid Bahakim and I go by Abdul. In this presentation, I will walk you through how we tested our system and what we learned from the users. I'll be focusing on our research process and result. For the study method, we tested our prototype using the SUS test because it is simple and work well with a small number of users. It helps us measure how easy the system is to learn and use. We gave the user a short introduction to our Figma prototype, let them try the main task, and ask them to complete the survey. In total, we got about 3 University of Minnesota students participated. Ethic and data handling. During the testing, we made sure that everything was handled safely and ethically. The survey was anonymous with no name collected. Participation was voluntary. The data was stored securely. And all results will be deleted at the end of the semester. We also made sure that the instruction were very accessible for the participants. Key finding. Overall, the user gave us a positive feedback. They say the system was easy to navigate, the layout felt clear, and the tasks were easy to understand. They also felt confident using it. The main issue we noticed was for the first-time user, it was hard for them to know where to start or how to move tasks between columns. For the SUS result, our average usability score was about 84.2, which considered grade A, and that means excellent usability. So 2 user gives us a very high score and they found the system extremely easy to use. Only 1 user gave us a lower score, mostly due to learning the system at first, not because of the design itself. Prototype plan. Our prototype is designed to support the student working on group project. Student can create board, add and design tasks, move tasks between stages, leave comment, ask TA for help, and upload their final work. The goal is to keep everything simple and organized in one academic focus space. For the low fidelity sketches, before building the final design, we created early rough sketches. These showed the basic layout, such as the login screen, dashboard, and 3 task columns. At this stage, we only focus on the structure and function, no color or detail that we focus on. This helps us just to focus on planning the system clearly. The task board storyboard for our this part show how student would actually use the system. We created a storyboard. It start with student logging in, creating a project board, adding teammate, and assigning task with a deadline. As the group work continue, tasks move between column and the project bar update. If some of the students needed help, they can easily contact a TA. At the end, the group update their final project. This show how our system support the full project from start to finish. Thanks for your time and wish you a good day. Bye.
Hi, my name is Brianna, and I'll be walking you through the high fidelity prototype that we created. And on the screen right now, you see a QR code that you can scan if you rather just view the prototype yourself directly. Otherwise, I'll be explaining it within the next couple slides. And so we start on the landing screen, and when a user clicks login, they're taken to a new dedicated login page. And the layout on this page stays consistent with the landing screen so the user doesn't feel disoriented, and it's just consistent with the brand. And on the login screen, the user enters their email and password, and we kept this page minimal so users weren't distracted and they'll know exactly what to do so they can get logged in quickly. And so if the user doesn't have an account and they need to create one, they move to a separate sign up page. And this page lists the password requirements right below the password field, which improves learnability because users can see exactly what they need to do without feeling frustrated and having to guess. And so once they finish filling out the fields, they can create their account and they're directed to the main system. And so after logging in or creating an account, the user moves to the project boards dashboard, which is a brand new page that displays all the project boards that they're currently a part of. And so you can see here, each board title shows the class name, the project title, a list of all the members, and then an add member button. And if the user clicks add a member, a pop-up opens on the same page with a text field for entering emails to share. And so this pop-up design improves performance because the system doesn't need to reload a whole new screen, and it supports accessibility because a user stays in context and doesn't get lost in navigation or by having to go through, different clicks to get to the goal that they want. And so when a user clicks on a specific project board, they are taken to a new page, the task board view. And on this page, tasks are organized into 3 columns: to do, in progress, and complete. And we chose this layout for usability because most students already recognize this type of structure from other tools, and it's easy to learn, and you can see everything that needs to be complete or has been completed at once. And so tasks can be dragged between columns, which is shown there with the little icon, which supports a smooth workflow and makes progress updates fast. On the right-hand side, I showed a zoomed-in version of the task card, and you can just kind of see the details that a user would see when they're on the main screen. The task titles there, description, the priority status, due date, student name and the role who's assigned to it, TA help button for quick access to get help, same with the library help button, and then seeing how many comments and files are attached. So the cards are really just a quick way to kind of see all the information about what's going on in the project, so you don't have to fiddle around and click on a bunch of things to get to the information that you want to see. And so creating and editing a task is shown on this side. And so creating a new task is simple, just clicking the add new task button at the bottom. And this will open up a pop-up where the user can enter all the details that I listed previously on the card. And then they can just save it and it'll be automatically updated in the board. And then when they're editing an existing task, they would click that small icon there, which is kind of hard to see on the right. It's an edit button, and they'll get a new pop-up where it looks similar to the creating a new task pop-up. So it's similar UI, but all the fields are already filled in. They'll just need to update it. And so doing this reduces cognitive load because the user can just simply adjust what needs to be done rather than having to rewrite and do a lot of rework when, editing a new task. And so throughout the walkthrough, you can see that our design choices focus on usability through clear navigation, recognizable patterns, minimal screens, and logic flows, learnability by using consistent layouts so users can understand the system quickly, accessibility by using large buttons, high contrast colors, and pop-ups that don't break people's focus, and then performance by reusing components and having as few page reloads as possible to keep the system working fast.
Based on the user evaluation and the SUS results, we made several targeted refinements to improve learnability for first-time users. The biggest issue we saw was that new users needed more guidance on how to interact with the task board. So we added a dedicated tutorial screen, a cleaner homepage hint that shows new users where to start, and explicit instructions on how tasks move from to do to in progress to complete. We also introduced microcopy to explain what each column represents, helping reduce confusion for the first-time users. This is the new tutorial page. It shows up when the user launches the app for the first time, and it gives a quick walkthrough of how the task board works. The goal is to reduce the initial learning curve and prevent users from feeling unsure about where to click. So after adding this, the clarity of the navigation improved significantly for our test participants. Another refinement we made to our prototype was improving the homepage clarity. Users weren't immediately sure whether they needed to log in or create an account, so we added a simple hint just says new here, click to create an account. The small change gives new users an obvious starting point and helps eliminate hesitation during onboarding. Another enhancement was adding a visual drag and drop indicator to the task cards. Even though tasks move by clicking, the icon communicates that the card is interactive and dynamic. This aligns better with user expectations from other taskboard tools and makes the interface feel more modern. Originally, users weren't sure how to move tasks between the status columns. To fix this, we added clear instructions. Click a task to move it from to do to in progress and to complete. This eliminated confusion and made the board feel more intuitive. We found that with this instruction in place, users completed the task movement activity much faster. Finally, we added microcopy at the bottom of the task board to clarify the meaning of each column. Things like tasks waiting to be started, tasks actively being worked on, and tasks that are finished are just some of the things we added. These short labels improved understanding during testing and helped reduce errors caused by misinterpreting sections on the board. Together, these refinements specifically enhance usability without adding complexity. For ethics and privacy, our goal was to design the system with minimal data exposure. We intentionally store only information required for collaboration. Nothing sensitive, personal, or academic will be collected. Comments and file uploads are restricted to approved group members, and TA or library staff notifications are handled securely. Importantly, the system does not connect to the LMS for grading, which prevents any risks of grade-related data being accessed or shared. Overall, we focused on maintaining user trust by keeping data collection minimal and access tightly controlled. Even with the strong design, we identified a few potential risks. Some students may prefer established tools like Trello or Google Docs, which could impact adoption. There's also the possibility of feature overload if too many advanced options are introduced. And finally, even with the task board, groups' misunderstandings can still happen if communication isn't clear. To measure success, we outlined several concrete metrics. We aim for an SUS score of 70 or higher, and at least 90% task completion within the system. We also expect 80% of users to complete tasks in under 2 minutes, showing good usability. And ideally, 85% of users should report that the system feels easier to use than the existing apps. Looking forward, the next steps focus on expanding functionality and integration. The biggest goal is full Canvas or LMS integration, which would streamline workflows and give professors more visibility. We also plan to strengthen real-time collaboration features, making teamwork feel more dynamic. And additional analytics for our professors could help track participation and identify where groups need support. We also want to build out more robust deadline notifications and continue improving the mobile version so students can manage tasks on the go.